And that will be on Blackboard, which I also wanted to show you, but I cannot. So we're going to start here instead. And what I want to give you an idea is a perspective on this calculus course. I want to give you some context about math education in U.S. and other countries, and then just a quick overview about what calculus is. Actually, so you read a little bit about that, and we'll hold off on that. But so the point of this presentation is to say really one thing. This math class is going to feel a lot different than math classes you've had before. And so I want you to have the right expectation as we embark on this journey. Okay? That's what this presentation is about. Okay? Here we go. So here is in 1975, natural science and engineering degrees. So something of a picture of, in different countries, the interest, enthusiasm, and competency of math and science as per countries. How are we doing? How's the U.S. doing in 1975? Doing good, right? 2000. How are we doing by 2000? 2000's in red. Okay? Something's happening in other countries where students are encouraged and enthusiastic about pursuing science, engineering, and math. That's not happening in the U.S. over those 25 years. And in the last 15 years, maybe there's been some shift, but not a major shift, okay? So what is this about? Well, one thing we know is that any company, so now we're in the digital age, right? Through the internet, we can be in China right now, right? We can be in China right now. We can be in Austria right now. So any company that hires you will compete with these other countries. So there was a study, and they videotaped 100 randomly selected 8th grade classrooms, Germany and Japan and the US. And then they took the videos and they turned them into written transcripts, and they removed all the cultural identifiers. So anything that would identify which country it was from, those were removed. So it was just the written transcripts of the classes. So if you read it, you wouldn't know which country that classroom transcript came from. Okay, and then they took data, and so one of the ways they analyzed this data was to look at what's in the three countries, the percentage of time in the classroom that the quality instruction was high, medium, and low. Okay, so this is one of the things they did, and in Germany they found that it was pretty evenly split, about a third each, third medium, third low, of the quality of the activities that were going on in the classroom. In Japan was better, okay? They were better for high and medium, and they had reduced the amount of, or a lesser amount of low quality instruction. So what do you suppose in the U.S. through this study? What do you suppose in the U.S.? So let's say, what percentage of activities and time did they find was high quality instruction and high quality of activity versus low? Okay, even worse than that. Even worse than what you said. Okay? So 89% was what, in this study, what was deemed low quality instruction or low quality of what was going on in the classroom. So what kinds of things in a math classroom would you suspect comprise low quality instruction? So what was that like? What are some features of what they're calling low quality instruction? Could you guess? What's that? Okay, all right, so a focus on answers, a focus on getting answers. That's good. What else? Yeah. Bingo, okay? Teachers will do examples, change the numbers, do more examples, and then the students are expected then to mimic those procedures, to replicate what the teacher did, maybe with different numbers. That's a biggie in this. Anybody had a math class like that before? Okay. So, and we've had so many of those that we've been conditioned to believe that that's what math should be like. Okay? those attitudes and beliefs are going to come out this semester. You're going to see that within yourself, you're expecting that. You're expecting me to show you the way, and then you're going to do it the same way. Okay? What other kinds of things would you expect are low quality instruction in math classroom? Yeah. Memorization, memorizing definitions. All right, so I think we pretty much hit it. So a lot of memorization, a lot of follow the rules, right? Follow the rules. This was considered low quality. And so then he touched on maybe what we're meaning by high quality. So in every other subject you take at this university, every other subject, it's going to be about understanding principles. It's going to be understanding why. History, science, economics, business, biology. What else am I missing? Psychology. Is there any other subject where the focus is not on understanding something? Why is this the way it is? So why should math be any different? Why should math be any different? Okay? So, the calculus, is it just a bunch of complicated procedures? You guys know what this is? So do I. Okay? I know that students know where this is. It does things for you. It answers questions and solves math problems with the touch of a button. Okay, so here, this is a calculus question. What's the integral from 0 to 1/2 of cosine x sine x dx? Okay, you just type that in and you hit enter, and it not only does it give you the answer, it gives you a graph, it gives you some other variations, it gives you a whole slew of information related to that question that you asked. Okay? Graphing calculator, that's what we're going to be using. That's going to be your calculator that you downloaded on your computer. Here's a complicated derivative question. The derivative of x to the 3 to the x. With a touch of a button, it gives this very complicated symbolic answer. Okay. So why should we spend hours upon hours learning to do things like this that would take, maybe that question would take a couple minutes to do by hand, when we have technology that can do it? Okay? So in the past, before we had this technology, calculus was for getting a job where you did lots of computing. Okay? You needed to be super fast at performing procedures flawlessly because we didn't have Wolfram Alpha. We didn't have GC. Okay? People were using calculus for just given the functions and equations, their job was to do what they were told. Follow the rules. Okay, but we're living in a different day and age. Computers can do these things much more quickly and more accurately than any human. Okay? But so what does that left for us? Computers cannot decide what function to analyze or what equation to solve. Okay? So we must use the technology with an understanding of what it's doing. Okay? So today, users of calculus, mathematicians, are more like managers. Managers, okay? Instead of calculators. So, we must understand what we are doing and be able to explain why we were doing it, okay? Those are the people, so people that understand the calculus and can explain what's going on are empowered to solve all kinds of problems, not just the ones you learned in the classroom, okay? So, what's your past experience? So when you worked with the symbols and performed computations, to what extent did you understand what it all represented? There's probably a mix. Some of you maybe had some teachers who focused on the understanding and the representation of what you were doing. But I would guess that a great majority of you had classrooms where you were just moving the symbols, performing computations, getting answers. It was all about getting the answer. Okay? And I would guess that that's many of you. Okay? So this class is about developing an expert knowledge of calculus so you can figure things out, not just remember what to do. So you come to a new problem and you can apply tools that you've learned because of your understanding. Okay? So for those of you who have had calculus or some pre-calculus, you've all had pre-calculus, but if you've had calculus before, if something I'm presenting seems new or familiar, don't try to anticipate and then turn your brain off. Just pretend you've never seen it before, because our journey to where you think we're going may be different, and then the destination may be different. Okay, so some of you have had calculus before. That it may actually be a hindrance, not a help. So be careful. Don't try to anticipate and guess where I'm going, because you'll tend to maybe turn your brain off. Like, I already know this. Okay, be careful, because we're doing things differently. All right, so the moral is that good math instruction is not good by international student standards. And don't expect this class to reflect your experience with prior math classes. Okay, again, this is going to be different. I want you to have that expectation right from the beginning. Okay, so some of the low quality things that we talked about. This is not going to be about rote memorization, replicating examples and procedures, doing well out thinking. So your brain has got to be on. You're going to be expected to think about things and figure things out. Guessing what I want you to say. So when I ask a question, it's not about getting the words in the right order. There could be several ways to respond in a meaningful way. So it's not about getting the words in the right order or saying the same thing I said the day before. So we want you to develop your capacity to think. What this class is about, understanding, we said. Developing insight into the world of quantities and relationships. Okay, so this calculus course is really going to be about how quantities and how quantities change together. That's really about what calculus is about. How quantities change together. Okay, so another thing about this course, it's not going to be Chapter 1, Section 1. We learn that. Then we move on to Chapter 2, Section 2. Learn that. Then we move on to Chapter 2. And we do those sections. And then Chapter 3 and those sections that are kind of disjointed. Everything is going to come, and everything that we do is going to be used later. So it's going to be a progression. And so you have to, ideas will come in groups, and they'll build on each other. And so you have to have the mindset when you learn something new that you're going to retain it. You're not just, I just got to get the homework done and move on to something else. Because most of the stuff we see in the first half of the class, we're going to see later too. And we're going for coherence, right? So again, it's not these disjointed chapters or sections of different exercises, but everything we're doing has a destination. And that is the fundamental theorem of calculus. Okay, and we talk about the fundamental theorem a little bit in the middle of the course, and then a lot at the end of the course. But you'll see that so much of what we do, maybe 75% of what we do throughout the course, is about arriving at this goal of understanding well the fundamental theorem of calculus. Okay, so here's a tale of two students from the past. Here's student number 1. This is from ratemyprofessors.com. We know about this too. We know this well. He's honestly a terrible teacher. Nice person. Thank you. But tries to teach the why and forgets about the how. It really kills your grade. I've never had below a 95 in a math class, and now I'm hoping to get an 88. Okay? So I'm not positive, but my definite suspicion here would be that this student has a way of thinking about what a good math teacher is. This is what I think he thinks a good math teacher is. Someone who demonstrates and explains complicated procedures really well and assigns grades based on the ability to mimic them. Okay, that would be my guess is what this student was expecting coming into the course. Okay, these attitudes are in you too. Okay, you hear what I'm saying, but you don't really realize it until you face them. Okay. And it makes emotions come out. And then the teacher's to blame. Okay? I get it. Okay, but this is the kind of instruction that's put us so far behind internationally, right? This is the kind of instruction where we have all this fear of mathematics in the U.S. And now you're competing in a world market because of the internet. So we want to pursue something higher. We want you to be empowered mathematically and in science, and however calculus is applied. We don't see you as monkeys, okay? We don't see you as monkeys. We see you as humans who have the ability to think and reason and achieve, okay? Another student. This is an email I got from her. For the first 4 weeks of class, I left every day feeling that my brain had been mauled into abstract obscurity. But now I was actually helping my friend from another college with her Calc 1 homework. She was amazed at how much I knew, and even though our language was a little bit different, I was able to teach her the why wage piece works and what it is there for. I have also been helping people at my table from class, as well as with homework. It is so satisfying to be having these daily aha moments finally. Okay? So what is this student telling us? That it's possible to make a journey from where you've been to somewhere new that's better. Okay? It's possible to make this evolution in your thinking and in your ability. Okay? The way that you approach the math and the classroom and how we're learning. Okay? So it can be done. It can be done. I'm trying to set you up here ahead of time. Okay, so when tackling problems in this course, a common reaction you may have is, he never did one of these before. He never showed me how to do this. Okay? Okay? When you feel this, you have to think, okay, but he's given me all the tools, and the TAs are there to support me and help me. The tools are there. You have to put them together. Sometimes you have to take an idea over here and an idea over here, put them together and formulate a new idea to solve the problem. Okay? You have to synthesize things. Okay? But all the problems that we're giving you, we may not have done a problem just like it, but we're giving you the tools. We're giving you the tools. Some of the responsibility is on you to figure it out by applying what we're learning. Okay? Again, bringing together multiple ideas, transferring your knowledge to new situations, writing coherent explanations. Okay? You're only going to improve in problem-solving skills. We'd all agree. You'd all agree that being a good problem solver is important in math. But you're never going to improve unless you're not faced with problems. Problems that you've not seen before, that engage you, that force you to have to solve it, instead of just memorization. Okay, so if you're going to improve in problem solving, you have to be faced with problem solving. There's no other way around it. Okay, so when you're getting help, which you're going to need support, and we have lots of support for you with the TAs and office hours. We're going to guide you, we're going to question you, but we're not going to just tell you what the answer is. So many of you have sat down with a tutor, and you say, I'm kind of stuck on this question. They grab your paper, and then they just do the problem. And this is not helping you. This is not helping you. Okay? So we're going to guide you, question you, lead you so that you're the one doing the work. Okay? In terms of grades, this is from a previous semester, one semester that had 69 students. Here was the distribution of grades. Totally typical of any Calc 1 course. So many people can achieve high grades in this course. Don't be scared that from that one student that your grade's going to be a letter grade lower than you were hoping. Okay, if you put your mind to it, you put the time in, you work hard, you can get the grade that you deserve. Okay. So, all in all, it's gonna take hard work, patience, perseverance, and help. Okay, it's gonna feel hard. Emotions are gonna come out. You're gonna be frustrated. Okay, but we're trying to stretch you. We're trying to make you better thinkers, better problem solvers, and give you a real understanding of what calculus is about. Okay, the benefits are great. I just told you. Okay, so let's see. Oh, I have internet. How many people have internet now? Any questions, reflection, observations that you want to? Yes, please. It's different, but I don't know. It's pretty typical of other math classes. Yeah. So by the withdrawal dates, there's maybe 10 or 20%, something like that. Okay. Okay. Oh, okay. So 20% or something, but I think it's pretty typical of math classes. Other questions or comments? All right, let's go to Blackboard. Come on, come back. All right, here we are. Blackboard's going to be the home base for our course. And you've already found the announcements because you had 3 important tasks to do. Now the syllabus is up. So you want to print and download that, read it carefully. Maybe we'll go over the syllabus a little bit on Thursday. Okay, readings and homework is the next link here on the left. First assignment for Thursday is here. After class today, I'm going to pick the problems that you're going to complete, but this is the gist of it. You're going to study chapter 1 and do some of the exercises in chapter 1. And like I said, this will be updated this afternoon in terms of the problems you'll do. And then there's going to be an office hours chart. So like I said before, office hours, getting support out of class is going to be critical for a vast majority of you that you're getting help outside of class. So there are 4 of us, and all of you can attend any of the 4 of our office hours. And I'm going to make I'll also do this later today. We're going to make a schedule. It'll have a visual chart of who's available when and where. Okay, and so that's myself and the 3 TAs, and you're definitely going to need that time. You're going to dig in, think about things, work on things, and then you're going to have questions, and you're going to go and you're going to get help from the TAs or myself outside of class. It's going to be a crucial part of succeeding in the course. I'll also have in here a link for class videos. So right now we are rolling, and so the video is everything you see on the screen. The audio is me, or just the noise in the room, which is, you can hear me. And so you have a full reproduction of class. Again, that's not a substitute for coming to class. It's for reinforcing, reviewing, and repeating, right? So you learn by repetition, right? You gotta think through the ideas over and over again, especially when you have so many other things going on in your life, okay? We'll talk about that. So, okay, so let's go to Top Hat. So you were to be enrolled in Top Hat. So if you've got your laptop or your any internet, so any internet device will work, even a smartphone, laptop, iPad, whatever, tablet device. So let's do a practice question. So the way it works is I'll just release a question, and then if you're in our Top Hat course, it will be revealed, and then most of the questions are going to be multiple choice. Some will be enter and answer, and we'll tackle those when we come to them, but most of the questions will be multiple choice. So let's just, for practice here, let's start with one here. Okay, you ready? Here we go. First question. It should be appearing right now. Do you see it? And normally when we're doing Top Hat, you're not talking. You're not talking with those around you. But here it's okay. Right? Here it's okay. But so normally when we do Top Hat, this is an individual quiz. You're working by yourself. Yes, ma'am? Yeah, you have to be signed in to Top Hat. And once you're signed into Top Hat, the question should appear. Are people having success? Are you seeing the question? Able to answer? Okay, and as long as the question remains open, you can change your answer as much as you want. This is Halloween. So, you might want to change your answer. This is this past Halloween. This is not 10 years ago. Can you get it right now? All right, and so then at some point, I'll give you a countdown. I'll say you have 10 seconds or 20 seconds to get your answers in. Last chance. This is way bigger than life size. How about that? He's like this tall, okay? He's like this tall. Look where the door handle is. Don't let the duck costume fool you. Look how tall he is, okay? He's like this tall. Does that help? Okay, last chance. Get your answers in. Okay, so time is up. Disable. Who are Mark's kids? Hey, I'm in Samuel. I just threw him. He won! He's this tall! He won! 8-4. Oh my goodness. Don't let this. I tried to give you a hint. Don't let the size fool you. Okay. So this particular one I had set as just participation only. Okay. So thank you for not saying Allison Morgan Cerny. This was just participation only. As long as you put an answer in, you get credit on this one. So let's do the real quiz. Now that we got the gist of it. So now I'm going to open up there's going to be 2 questions for. When you open it up, you should see a window that looks like this. If you want to make what you're writing bigger or smaller, if you go to, where is this? If you go to File, Document Settings, Font Size. Okay, so I want to make it a little bigger for you guys, so I'm going to put it up to say 30, okay? All right, so that will change the font size. Okay, there's basically 2 kinds of lines that you can type in command lines, and there's mathematical statements and then text. If you have one of these squares, this is you're typing in mathematical statements, expressions, defining functions, etc. If you want to type text, and that would just be for your reference or for somebody else, it helps. You can do on Apple, it's Command T. On Windows, it's Control T. And so now this is a text line that will have no bearing on the mathematics. I enter or the visuals created by this file. Okay? So if I want to do a bunch of lines and I want to put a heading on it, and I just want for my own knowledge later, know what those next 4 lines are, I can create a text line. Okay, so you can do that. But let's get to something here. So the first thing about graphing calculator is it just is a basic calculator. Yeah, yes, sir. Yes, ma'am. So we need to, yeah, you want to help her out. Thanks. Okay, so you can just enter in expressions, and if it's a numerical expression that has a value, then as soon as the expression is there, the value appears. You don't have to enter. Okay, so 3 plus 5, immediately it tells you that it's 8. And then it will change on the fly. So minus 10.2. So now it's updated that expression equals negative 2.2. Okay, if you want to square, so any exponent you can add by doing shift 6, the caret, but then there's 2 built-in exponents, squared and cubed. So if you just do shift 2 will just automatically square something. Shift 3 will automatically cube it. And so now again, I have 3 plus 5 cubed minus 10.2 squared. The value is updated now, 23.96. Any other exponent, you need to do shift 6 and the caret, and then it'll give you the space to put that in, and so we can put something else in, like 4e minus sine of 6. Okay? And so now I have this result, 209,488. Okay, square root. So I want the square root. So with square root, parentheses, division, what's nice is you have features like a word processing document. I can select the whole thing, and then just hit divide, and it will divide the whole thing by, say, 72. Okay. Or I can, and then to get parentheses, you just do shift 9, and it gives you both parentheses. Shift 9 will just give you both. You never have to do the right parenthesis. It'll always just give you both. So we can do 40 minus 6.3. And so that will multiply in the denominator there 72 times the result of what's in parentheses. Okay, so square root. So I really wanted square root of 72, so I can highlight the 72. On a Mac, it's Option V. Option V is square root. And you can either hit the square root first and then type in what you want under there, or you could already type it, highlight it, and do what I just did, Option V. On Windows, what is it? Control S, Control R? Where's Control Shift R. Control Shift R is how you get the square root on Windows. So what's really nice about just this aspect of graphing calculator, just calculating things, is that you have this editable expression, right? So you can just go in there and edit it, change it however you want, and you have a full visual of it in nice form, right? It's not linear. It's not like left to right form like in your calculator. And then it constantly updates the current value. You can go like this. So I can highlight the whole thing and copy, just like a word processor. To get a new mathematical command line, you're going to go Command Return or Control Return. And that opens up a new command line. Go on this new command line, now I can paste. So now I can paste on this new command line, and it will replicate it. I could change this one if I wanted to. So say to this one, I want to add the square root of, to get pi, you just type pi. Just type pi, and then the pi will appear. I'm sorry? It does. But that has a special meaning as a changing variable, whereas pi is a constant, right? Pi is a constant value. How do you get square root? You said Option V. You have Option V, because square root looks like a V. Square root kind of looks like a V. So Option V. Okay, thank you. Yeah, sure. How are we doing so far? So this is what I have a little task for you using graphing calculator here. So here is a geometric thing here. So I want you to use only the values in the diagram. So when you're creating your expression, only use 4, 5, and 9. You can also use 2 if you want a square, or you want 1/2, or something like that. But like say 4, you got 4 and 9 there. Don't use 13. Don't use 13. How do you get 13 from 4 and 9? You want that in your expression. Use 4 and 9 only. Okay? I want you to write one expression, so one command line, that's going to calculate the area of the region outside the circle and inside the trapezoid. Here's your formula for a trapezoid. Here's your formula for a circle. So only 4, 5, and 9, and you're allowed to do 1/2 or 2, square, whatever, pi. Using your formulas, using the picture, one expression in a command line so that it'll say equals, and it'll be the area outside the circle, inside the trapezoid. Go. We'll come around and help you. Okay? Go. Work on it. I'm going to clarify here some things. You can work together, get help. So this right here, right here. So not only is this you're exercising GC, but it's a little problem solving here too. A little problem solving. Yeah, or get help from us. So one command line using only 4, 5, and 9 that's going to get that, calculate that area. Distance to that place. Does that clear it up, Ori? Okay.
Or 6. So just write how you got to 18. How to get to 18. Erase those. So the height is not on the line. Do you see it? Do you know the other two sides? Yes. The reason is that you need to be able to flex. You can do that another step forward. Make sure
What did I just do? To get the height, right? You need the Pythagorean theorem to get the height. Square root of the hypotenuse squared minus the side length squared, you know, square root gives you that side. So that's just the area of the trapezoid. How many people got it before I put it up? Less than half. Did you figure out the circle? Where is it? Did you figure out the circle? It's what you're squaring. Look at what you're squaring. What do you mean to square, and what are you squaring? So now I want to subtract the area of the circle, so pi. So what's the radius? So watch this. Isn't the radius half of the height? So instead of typing it in again, I can highlight, copy, paste. But then I also want it, what? Divided by 2. You can use it like a Microsoft, like a word processing editor. You can copy and paste things, highlight things, apply. So if you highlight and apply a mathematical operation, it'll do the operation to the whole thing you've highlighted. Am I done? One more thing. This is my radius. Half of that height of the trapezoid is the radius, but for the area of a circle, it's pi radius shift 2. 42.9. 42.9 square units. Okay, any questions so far on just what we've done? So some of you, I saw some of you trying to use letters. Don't use any letters yet. Just putting in expressions, calculating values. Question? Maybe. But I'm solving for a leg. I'm not solving for the, if I was solving for the hypotenuse, I would be adding the leg squared. But this hypotenuse squared minus a leg squared gives me the other leg squared. Other questions? Okay, I got something to show you. Oh, I need sound. I need sound. Does the sound work? So it's something that makes a sound. I'll just go for it. Here we go. Movie.
I've untitled this place and I started bringing it here because I didn't know what else to do. I gave up counting it. I had to. It was just so much, so fast. I tried weighing it. I figured one bill of any denomination weighs a gram. There are 450 grams to a pound, but there's a variety of denominations. So, I have no earthly idea. I truly don't. I just stack it up, keep it dry, spray for silverfish. There is no money here that we could spend in 10 lifetimes. I certainly can't launder it. Not the 100 car washes.
Okay. There's more money there than you could spend in 100 lifetimes. What should she say? 10 lifetimes. Certainly couldn't launder it with 100 car washes. Okay? So, how much money is there? So let's go back. Okay. So let's kind of try to figure out how much money is there. Is it a lot of money? Yeah. Okay. All right. So let's say that this dimension here, we're going to say is 2 meters. That's pretty, okay? And then this dimension here, we're going to say is 1.5 meters. Some of you know how we made all that money. And it wasn't being a calculus teacher. Are those numbers showing up on the screen? I've already forgot. After a month of eating turkey and sweets, I've already forgotten how to operate the lights in this room. So We'll just have to go with it. But this is 2 meters by 1.5 meters, I'm estimating, by a 3/4 of a meter tall. So jot that down. And we're going to assume that they are all $50 bills. It's all $50 bills. Okay? So we can come up with some kind of estimate. Got it? Oh, there. That's good. Okay. So here's the dimension of a dollar bill. 15.5956 centimeters by 6.6294 centimeters by 0.010922 centimeters. Here's the dimensions of that block of money. So we're going to find the total amount of money in a block of these $50 bills that measures 2 by 1.5.75 in meters. And we want to write one expression, one command line in GC to do that. Can you do it in 5 minutes? There's more than one way to do it, but the important thing is, what we're going to do is we're going to do a series of quantities along the way, and everything that's in parentheses, we want to identify what it means. Okay? So what we want to, maybe if you've learned a technique of unit analysis, I want to try something new. Okay? So we're going to try something new where we're going to build kind of from the inside out, and every time we add a layer, we're changing the quantity, moving it towards what we want. Okay? But do it how you can. Okay? So at this point, just do it how you can. Take about 5 minutes to do that. Go. Again, you're writing one expression so that it's going to say equals, and then that's the estimate of the amount of money. One expression. I've highlighted the dimensions up there. Okay.
No, because it'll see those letters as variables and constants, so you don't want to do that. Keep track of it yourself. We're assuming that it's all filled out by the bill. But yeah, there'll be some ways.
Okay, so some of you've got a pencil and a piece of paper, and the whole beauty of this is you don't need that. You do your scratch work on the fly. You build it, you write your sketch, type it in. As long as you know what everything stands for, then you build the expression. You don't have to scratch with outside the pencil and paper first. Okay, what's that? What did I do? What's that so far? So again, we've got something in parentheses. What does that quantity represent in this problem? I've heard lots of people say area. Is it area? Volume of the whole block. It's the volume of the whole block in cubic meters. So I heard in the back, I heard a very good kind of way to reason this out. They said if you have the volume of the whole block, and you divide it by, you say, you find out how many bills would make up a whole block. What operation would we use to find how many bills would make up a whole block? That'd be division. We're going to divide that by what? If we divide by the volume of one bill, then we're asking the question, how many bills would fit into the block? Right? How many bills would fit into the block? And so we want the volume of one bill. So I want to stay in meters. So what's that? That's how many meters long a bill is. So I'm going to take 15.5956 centimeters. And a centimeter is 1/100th of a meter. So we want that many hundredths will give us how many meters long a bill is. Then so times 6.6294. You can't just divide the volume by 100. You got to divide every dimension by 100, right? If you take that whole volume of a bill and then divide by 100, you've left, so every dimension has to be in meters. This is one way to do it. So now, in the bottom, in the top in parentheses, I have the volume of the whole block. In the bottom, meters cubed. In the bottom in parentheses, what do I have? Volume of a bill in meters cubed. And so when I divide, I'm asking how many bills would fit into that block. How many are there? What is that E thing? Okay, so that E means you take that number before, times, scientific notation, times 10 to the 6th, or move the decimal place 6 places. So if I do one, and a new line, I have to do 1.99253, and then I do times 10 raised to the 6, I should get the exact same thing. That's what that means. 1.99253 times 10 to the 6th power, or move the decimal place 6 places to the right. So we're to what? We got, what, 2 million? Is that 2 million bills? So how much money is that? How are we going to find how much money that is? Every bill is 50, so we're going to multiply by 50. So what do we got now? Is that $99 million? Is that a lot of money? Is it a lot of money? All right. Powerball is way more than that right now, right? But so you may say, that's a lot of money. Yeah, we couldn't spend it in 10 lifetimes. We couldn't launder it with 100 car washes. Okay, But the current debt of the U.S. government is $18,880,000. Here it is. $18 trillion. Oh, sorry, I rounded up. 880 billion. Okay? How many blocks? I don't want to look at that anymore. All right. How many blocks amounts of these blocks amounts to our current debt? So how many of these blocks of money? So we're going to ask the question, is 99 million a lot of money or not? Is it a lot of money or not? You may think, yes, wow, I would love 99 million. It's a lot of money. Now answer this question. The current debt is about 18,880 billion. How many of these blocks amounts to our current debt? Figure it out. So it's kind of similar to what we did before. What are we going to do? We're going to take the amount of the debt and ask how many blocks make up that. What operation is that? 18. Let's do our scientific notation. 0.88 times 10 to the, how many decimal places is that? If I do 18.88. 9? 3, 6, 9. Okay? And we want to know how many blocks fit into that. So I can do, look at what I can do. Watch. I just take that whole thing, copy, set it, paste. That's it. Something's wrong. Is it 12? It's 12. This is 12, right? There we go. I needed 12 for trillion. So it's 9. So it would take 190,000 of those blocks to understand how much we spend every year in our government. So 99 million, all of a sudden, it's not so big anymore. You see? 99 million. It's relative, if it's big or not. Compared to what? Okay. Homework posted on Blackboard. See you Thursday.